Okay, it's go time. Well, a recent Nintendo Direct has actually given us another trailer for Pokemon Legends ZA, and in the trailer we actually get to see the Mega Evolutions for the Kalos starters, finally. But overall that makes like, what, 6 brand new Mega Evolutions in this 1 week? Either way, we finally have it, yes, Mega Chesnaught, Mega Delphox, and Mega Greninja. And I did think this is something that they would save for the actual release of the game, but having it beforehand is actually honestly pretty interesting, though there is one unfortunate reason they're telling us now, and I'll get to that later. But for now, I really do like the designs of all of them, so let's go ahead and talk about Mega Chesnaught first. Now this one actually I think always had the short end of the stick of the trio. I mean, I think all 3 of them are pretty solid, but Chesnaught itself was kind of the least popular in terms of design, but I really do like how this one goes. For one thing, we see a lot more armor on the shoulders, these ones resembling shields, though as we see in one of the screenshots, this is actually a weapon that it can pull off and use in some animations. I really do like that idea because it adds some extra bulk to Chesnaught in the base form, and then for lore reasons it has a weapon that makes it seem a lot more like a commander, which also goes along with a lot of the other elements here. For one thing, it has sort of a crown shape on the front of its head, some of the fur resembles a beard, and of course he has the actual cape on the back now. Yeah, I really do like it. This one definitely seems like a Pokemon that will lead a bunch of others into battle. Honestly, this would totally fit in as a DDD monster from Yu-Gi-Oh! Over on the official website, we find out some more information. Its hardened armor boasts high defensive capabilities. When Mega Chesnaught moves to attack, this armor becomes a powerful weapon with which to smash opponents. A hardened outer shell greatly bolsters its defenses. Energy from Mega Evolution has been channeled into its outer shell and throughout its body, resulting in a dynamic increase in its defensive capabilities. The fur on its body has also grown and can act as an impact-absorbing cloak. Confident that it can withstand any sort of attack, it possesses a steadfast spirit and always remains level-headed. Its shield-like shoulder armor transforms into destructive weapons. When it moves a piece of its incredibly tough shoulder armor, spikes extend from the shield to form an axe-like weapon with a long handle. The shield-turned axe is so heavy that even Mega Chesnaught's brute strength isn't enough to easily wield this weapon one-handed, but gripping it with both hands makes it possible for Mega Chesnaught to use its weapon with exact precision to beat down foes. Yeah, honestly insane, and I think that this just might be my favorite Mega Evolution of the trio right now. And if you'll allow me to make one more reference as a Charge Blade user and Monster Hunter, yeah, that's the vibes I'm getting. Then we come to Mega Delphox. And first of all, I think it's a great idea to introduce some darker colors into the mix. It does make it feel a lot more mystical, but also helps to break out the design a little more. Also, the key art and basic pose of Delphox is a lot better. Definitely a lot more dynamic, exciting, and something that really gives you witch vibes. And in my video a few years ago about breaks, and that is one thing I did pinpoint as a reason people didn't really talk about Delphox as much compared to its pre-evolution, is that I think overall in 3D it just wasn't as exciting. But now this is a really good idea. And then overall, just to get in on a giant broom with a fire behind it and it's flying, genius, amazing, perfect. And then of course it has the other 2 little ones like floating around it, which are a nice idea to better emphasize the psychic ability. And it does have some tuft of fur coming out from the back of the head that resembles a witch hat, but I do also like that the fur on the front of the face kind of comes down, because in a way, yes, while it has the overall witch vibes, it does also make it pass as a wizard as well. It uses psychic powers to confuse opponents, making for a tricky fighting style that allows it to unearly deal damage. It mesmerizes opponents using its psychic powers. Its psychic abilities have been enhanced. Mega Delphox controls 2 branches that float by its side. It moves these branches as if they were brought to life by its magic, leaving onlooking opponents bewildered. It also floats atop a large branch, dazzling its foes even further. In contrast to its disoriented opponents, Mega Delphox stays calm and collected as it deals damage by landing precise attacks. After confusing opponents, it incinerates them with scorching flames. Mega Delphox attacks its foes by skillfully coordinating its moves in tandem with 2 lit branches floating nearby. And there's more. These seemingly autonomous flames don't just confuse the opponent, they can also be combined with the flames Mega Delphox spits from its mouth, forming a huge fireball that engulfs and burns its opponents. Really great too that the fire here seems to be animated differently, or at least a different color, and I think that's something that really does tie into Mega Delphox as well. And I love the personality they give it too. Yeah, sure, it's floating on a branch, but it still stays cool and calm and is, you know, the smartest big brainest of the trio. Also, I don't know how I didn't realize it, but like the floating branches still being on fire, those are basically just will-o-wisp, kind of tying into the whole idea. Too bad the game only takes place in just Lumio City, because this would be a perfect Pokemon to use in the swampy area of Kalos. And sure, also make another reference, leave a like if you're counting so far, but I'm getting big vibes of Sophie the Swamp Witch. Definitely a contender for my favorite alongside Chesnaught. And then last comes Greninja, the Pokemon that we knew was destined for a Mega Evolution all along, and I gotta say it is cool, though not my favorite. Because for one thing, with Ash Greninja, I think they already used a lot of interesting ideas, you know, having the Water Shuriken bigger on the back and then changing some of the shape on the front of the face, so they really either had to lean into that or do something different. And I like the idea that they did something different, though very interesting. The Water Shuriken is permanent, it's floating at the top, and then Greninja just like hangs down from the bottom of it. In a way, it kind of reminds me of like Gigantamax and Teleon, of how weird that one gets, and I definitely think it is perfect in that sense because those two Pokemon are kind of mirrors of each other. Anyway, Greninja overall has a lot of the basic blue colors, but there is some black added, and I really do like that detail because it calls back to the shiny form as well. And while it gets to be upside down like a sneaky ninja and a frog, still comes off as kind of one of the joke Mega Evolutions. It uses its incredible reflexes to launch attacks at opponents while they are distracted by the sight of it clinging to a gigantic Water Shuriken. This ninja Pokemon forgoes stealth to make full use of its sharpened reflexes. Unleashing the energy of Mega Evolution has dramatically improved Mega Greninja's reflexes. It intentionally reveals itself to push opponents into attacking. Then it detects their incoming attacks and moves so swiftly that it's able to strike first. Normally, Greninja would appear in a flash and disappear like a ninja. Now that it has Mega evolved, it no longer bothers to hide itself, demonstrating to opponents its confidence that it will win. Clinging upside down to a gigantic and rapidly spinning Water Shuriken. It clings upside down to a giant floating Water Shuriken that was created from a gel-like membrane secreted from its body. Opponents caught off guard by its surprising appearance are then wrapped up in its long tongue and prevented from attacking. It charges toward immobilized opponents to attack from its gigantic and rapidly spinning Shuriken. I do like the idea that the Shuriken is made from stuff secreted from its body because it kind of calls back to Froakie with the Frubbles. And then also utilizing the tongue for more than just being a scarf is a cool idea as well. It really does remind me of a creepy Greninja that we saw in the Detective Pikachu movie, which are a favorite of mine. So really kind of seeing a lot of the ideas of Greninja throughout its entire life of over 10 years, all finally coming together in the Mega Evolution is just really nice. Again, I might have chosen a different orientation at least, but I think definitely it looks a lot cooler when it squats down onto the Shuriken, but at least in the animation it gets to move around on its feet as well. So yeah, those are the Mega Evolutions for all the Kalos starter Pokemon, and I really do love them, and generally I think a lot of people are kind of on the same page. Though speaking of pages, there are some interesting other details on the official website that tells us how to obtain the Mega Stones, which will not be as part of regular gameplay. Yeah, sure, you can obtain them in the game, however they will not be in it as part of the story in any way, it seems like, because apparently they're available as promotion rewards for battling online in ranked battles, and that I am definitely not a fan of, especially because they're going to be split up. Really unfortunate, I think was absolutely the worst choice. Like sure, okay, you had to play online, I doubt you have to even like get really far, you know, just interact with the online ranked battles in some form and then download the stone later, but the fact that they aren't just hard put in the game and it kind of forces you to attain them, for Mega Evolutions of really iconic Pokemon that people have been wanting for a long time, and on top of that it means you're going to have to wait if you get the game when it comes out to use any of these Mega Evolutions beyond just Greninja, because yeah, Greninja comes out on October 16th, but for Delphox and Chesnaught you're going to have to wait a while. I think this would have been fine for like a Mega Stone of a mythical Pokemon or a legendary Pokemon, still wouldn't have been the best idea, and I know these aren't going to be the starters of this game, we have you know, the other trio for that. I imagine in a future entry like Generation 10, if it keeps Mega Evolution, then they're going to be available through the regular gameplay, but for the first time around it is really disheartening. So yeah, overall I think they knocked it out of the park in terms of the designs and the concepts, but when it comes to some of the actual mechanics so far and the game isn't even out yet, yeah, that was a big misstep. So for now, let me know what you think about these Pokemon in the comments below. Which one is your favorite and which one are you going to use as soon as you're able to? Because yeah, you're going to have to wait for some of them. Like I said, I honestly think it is a good tie between Delphox and Chesnaught for me, but Greninja is really cool as well. Anyway, I guess I should get to practicing battling because you know, that's something we're going to have to do now. Thank you to every channel member for your continued support, including the great Gators, DeAndre, Alex with Shiny Hunts, Cosmo Zero, Tyler Hopper, Lockadox, Koi13, Cemetery Hill, Jesus62, Gator Kid 509, TF, Matha Clock 947, Taijirai, Justin R, Phantom, and Quago. If you would like to support, see your name here, get access to emotes, support, comments, live streams, sometimes daily videos, and our members podcast, you can become a channel member today. You can also follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky as well for more memes. Anyway, this is GatorX, and I'll catch you all later.
A new adventure begins. Pokemon trading card game XY Kalos starter sets. Battle with Chesnaught, Delphox, or Greninja. New XY starter sets in stores now. Include 60 card deck and 10 card booster pack. Sets sold separately. Cards vary by set.